A few other interesting applications like swimming pool, indoor swimming pool application. In indoor swimming pool application, if the humidity is high, you will have mold and mildews and wall and duct surfaces. You will have fogging, condensation, and rusting, and sometimes the rotting smell. The injuries due to the slipping or falling accidents may occur. The solution is one need to be maintaining the RH of about 50% at ambient temperature. We have done many jobs in Middle East for this particular application. Next slide. Next slide, Ashok. Now that's another very interesting application wherein we have given our machine to military engineering services in India. The high humidity causes in this part. This is a parachute drawing. Even if the humidity is high in this case, it may give birth to hello. See, in case of high humidity, the microorganism growth may happen during storage, and deforming and damaging of parachute membrane may happen. One need to be maintaining about 45% RH at 30 degrees centigrade in the shed area. So these are some of the applications. There are many more applications. I have a long list. We have actually the constraint on time. Otherwise, probably we can have one training program only on the applications of dehumidification and dry air. It will be about 3 to 4 hour session or maybe more. There are so many. So, as Ashok said, even for Falcon application or for many other, even for crocodile, this one, so many things which we would have not heard. The dryer can be applied. So that is how the contribution of Bryair is there from whatever we do in our life. Guys, now I'll give the command to my colleague Ashok to take you through a very interesting application of lithium battery, and which is upcoming application, and the dry rooms. And the other thing is our next Industry 4 product. We call it Bryair Super Smart Series products, which are very energy efficient. Over to Ashok.
Thanks, Vijay. I hope all of you enjoyed hearing Vijay talking about various applications. You may be knowing about these applications. Maybe some of you are not aware about the applications. So I would like to take it forward. Today, the talk is now about the electric vehicle. Everybody talks about EV because of this COVID. The discussion has come down a bit, but otherwise, the government all across the world, it is not only in India, all across the world, they're talking about moving on to electric vehicles to reduce pollution and to improve the life of people, the surrounding, and improve the air quality and all that. So when we talk about battery electric vehicle, the first thing which comes to mind is lithium-ion batteries. Lithium-ion batteries is very critical for this electric vehicle application. The China has gone ahead and they were in the forefront of this lithium battery production much before what India came in. Lithium as a metal, it has got a very high affinity to water. When lithium comes in contact with water, it makes lithium hydroxide and hydrogen gas, correct? So we have to see during the process how the lithium is shielded from the moisture which is there in the production facility. In this case, we need the humidity level as low as 1%. I repeat, as low as less than 1%. When we call it less than 1%, we define in terms of dew point. And it is going as high as minus 60 degrees C dew point. That is what you need the air to be at if you want a stable battery which has good performance there is no chance of explosion, because if you have moisture inside, when you put the battery for charging, it heats up. And when it heats up and hydrogen is inside the cell, naturally it will explode. I think you must have heard few of the cases last year, 2 years back, when Samsung mobiles got exploded. They had two problems. One is battery, the manufacturing process, the environmental condition was not maintained properly. The second issue was their BMS, battery management system. The battery management system was not switching off the charging when it is getting heated. So there are two main problems. They had to discontinue the battery. They have to all the cell phones banned on the airline. So just imagine it's a mobile, but if it happens to a car, what happens? It is catastrophic. I mean, life is at stake. So it is very, very critical for a lithium battery production to maintain right kind of conditions inside the manufacturing area. There are two areas. One is cell manufacturing and one is battery pack assembly. The cell manufacturing are two types, cylindrical or prismatic, and then it is manufactured where you put in your the lithium ion, I mean cathode, anode together with the separators and the electrolyte. So that is very crucial. During this process, there should be absolutely zero moisture. If I talk about minus 60 degrees dew point, this may be 0.004 grains per pound of moisture. You can imagine. I think this is not applicable to any other industry. So similarly, it is very crucial to see that lithium battery production taken care under such conditions. And Bryair, as a solution provider, is fully geared up. We have supplied more than hundreds of machines to China because they are way ahead in production of this lithium battery cells in China than in India. India is picking up, so we are already ready to supply the equipment in India, and we have supplied a few. To name like BHEL, they have gone for commercial manufacturing of lithium battery for the space application. The not only the machine, and one more thing, you people must be aware about clean room. Clean room is basically for your pharmaceutical application, but in case of lithium battery, we call it a dry room, where the moisture, the construction is completely different. You cannot allow any moisture to come out from outside. You cannot allow any moisture to come from the bottom. The bottom floor is totally epoxy painted with 6 layers of moisture protection with polypropylene sheets at the bottom, so that there is no moisture ingress into the room from any place. Similarly, there is no air leakage from the outside. The room has to be under pressurized condition. So in India, we take up this facility as a turnkey solution because it is very crucial. We call it a dry room turnkey solution, what we provide. Correct? So let's move forward. So this is the photograph of a real machine where we have supplied. This is the machine which has gone to China to a company called Excite. So this is the machine where we can get ultra low dew point up to minus 80 degrees C. So there is a lot of margin available, lot of safety available for us. And this machine needs very accurate design. You cannot go ahead with your assumptions and thumb rules. You need to understand people, you need to understand the load, you need to understand many things when you design the system. This is not like any other regular dehumidifier that everybody can design. This needs special experience, and Bryair has got that. We call it green dry burst technology. And for this dry burst technology, we have patents filed. We have in USA, we have in Japan, we have in China, we have in Europe, we have in Australia. We have all these places, we have this patent filed. And this is one of the machine which consumes lowest power for similar machine made by any other competition. Now, coming to again lithium battery, you know, everybody doesn't go for commercial production. Some people go for testing of the laboratories, correct? So we have another product where it is a small room where 2-3 people can work, and you can do the assembly, I mean the cell assembly inside that room. This is a ready to build, and it is all assembled in our plant, and we just divide into 2 pieces depending on the transportation limitation. We send it to site and it gets assembled at site maybe in 2-3 days. So this machine, we have a sample in our factory. So any of the time you people are most cordially invited to visit us. We can show you the dew point, run the machine. This is available only for our customers to show, to give a feel how the dry room happens. The moment the room is designed for 2 people, 3 people go in, the moisture level goes up and all. So we can show you all that, and we invite you to come to our plant whenever it is possible for you. Now coming to the key product offering of Bryair. This is, we start with the dehumidifier. I'm talking about desiccant dehumidification. One is compact, which is very small. This can be mounted on the wall where your less airflow is required. And we can give it from 170 cmh to 3000 cmh. Many people are aware about it. The next one, dehumidifiers, here we can go up to any size. We can go up to 80,000 cmh also, single unit possible. We can give you only the dehumidifier. We can give you the pre-cooling section, completely engineered dehumidifier. Everything is possible depending on the customer requirement. All kinds of automation we can give it. Whatever kinds of automation, remote start, stop, whatever is required, that is all available with us. Now, I'll be talking about a super BryairSmart dehumidifier, how it is different from the standard dehumidifier what we supply. The main advantage of this particular energy efficient dehumidifier, let me just go back. I mean, today everybody wants to add to their bottom line, correct? Any penny saved goes to your bottom line. Earlier, people used to think, okay, I'm getting money, I'm making profit, but today the world has become very competitive. You have to reduce your operating cost and add to your bottom line. If your energy cost comes down by 48%, because we know dehumidification is a very energy consuming process. And if you can save your energy, that adds straight to the bottom line. And the price of the medicines or pharmaceutical or food or whatever you say, because of competition, the prices levels are going down. In order to be market and competitive, you have to see how you can save energy, save money. So this is a dehumidifier. I mean, we have a full presentation on this. It will take more than 1 to 2 hours to give a presentation, but I'm talking about in brief. This particular dehumidifier, you can save energy up to 48%. It depends which area you are going. Like if you go to an area like Mumbai, where it is near to the seashore, where the humidity level is more or less constant, this may come down. But if you go to a place like Baddi, or if you go to a place like Sikkim, which is a more drier area, or Delhi, the saving will be much higher. Because in the standard dehumidifier, we always design for the worst condition. But throughout the year, the worst condition doesn't remain same, but we still pass the same quantity of air and same reactivation air proportion to that to the dehumidifier, thereby consuming energy which is not required. Correct? So that is one part of it, energy saving. The second, it is all ready for Industry 4.0, because the Industry 4.0 is the thing of present. I mean, it is already present in other countries. It will not take much time to come to India. It is like machine talking to machine, remote control of a machine. I mean, you can start your AC from your office. By the time you come, it is running okay. Similarly, you can start this machine from anywhere through your mobile. If you have a mobile, it can be connected through IP address and you can start the machine. You can see the performance of the machine from anywhere. You don't have to go to the shop floor or go to your control room to see the performance. If you have a problem, you can give us access. We can access it, the machine from our place, and guide you. This is the problem. Maybe you can do that. So remote access is possible. Remote start stop is possible. Remote monitoring is possible. Energy efficiency is possible. There are so many benefits of this particular machine. And this is embedded with Bryair technology. Again, it is patented. By this technology, we vary the speed of the rotor. You might have heard people may tell that I have a VFD for the process airflow. I vary the fan flow to reduce the airflow and all. That's not the only thing. The thing is, how do you optimize further and get energy consumption lower? We reduce the speed of the rotor or increase the speed of the rotor depending what is required. If the rotor is dry, then I move it faster. If the rotor is wet, I rotate it slower. So that means we are allowing the machine to absorb or operate at its maximum capacity. So there is a term called dynamic specific performance. It is not very common, and it says the energy consumed for removal of 1 kg of moisture from your process air or per CFM of process air flow. This will be the lowest among all the machines which is available. And this dynamically balances the airflow. I have a small video which will give you more idea how does it operate. It has got a very complicated algorithm. We have spent almost 150 man years. I mean, 150 means many people working together. It's not that 150 years. So onto developing of this, the algorithm, and we have already supplied these machines to very few customers in India, and the performance has been proved, and we want to introduce it to everybody, what they can talk with. And then it has an optional feature called Bryair Prognosis, which will tell predictive failure. I mean, there is a vibration monitor inside the motor and the fan. It says if there is any vibration, it says, hey guys, please go and look at the fan. It's not performing. If the differential pressure across the filter goes up, he says, go and check the filter. I think there's some problem. The filter is choked. I mean, so many other things. The failure, predictive failure, we can do that. I mean, we can look at it so that we can save the downtime. No top-up heater required. The rotor is a special rotor. It is not the standard rotor what we give. So if you have a steam at 3 kgs per cm square gauge pressure available, you don't need any electric heater top-up. This will run without that. So there are so many benefits. You have backnet, Modbus connectivity, remote connectivity, remote fault warning output. This all I have talked to you. How does it work? If you see this, there are too many sensors provided into that. I mean, if you talk about the input side, in addition to the standard what we give, there is lot many things, because to control anything, you need data. The data analytics is done by the computer brain, which is residing inside this BBSC's dehumidifier, and it controls the output, keeping in view the condition what is to be maintained inside the chamber remains the same.
Ashok ji, I think we lost you. Are you there? DG sir, can you continue? No, I think we'll just lost Mr. Ashok. No problem. I'll just put on the PPT once again. DG sir, are you there? Hello? Yeah, one second. Anji, yeah, so at this point, we continue.
So gentlemen, I think we've lost Mr. Ashok, but what we'll do is we'll continue. So the next topic, what Mr. Ashok was covering was related to the Bryair technology or having energy efficient dehumidifiers. We will get into this a little bit more in detail on a one-on-one basis. So at this time, since we've already exceeded our time limit, it would be a good time to take on questions, either technical questions or application-based questions, if you might have any.
Sure. So I already have 5 questions which came by email and on the group. So one is regarding phase velocity. What velocity of air, what is the ideal phase velocity to have on the desiccant wheel surface to get maximum efficiency?
All right. So in this case, we do not talk in terms of efficiency. However, the target is for our moisture remover or grain depression across the desiccant rotor. Typically, desiccant rotor designs for industrial applications are not done on a 50-50 sectorial basis, but they are done on a 75%, 25% basis. That means 75% of the surface area of the desiccant rotor is under process. Typical phase velocity is anywhere between 2 to 2.5 meter per second. So that is typically how we are designing the sizing of the desiccant rotor.
Okay.
Okay.
I think DG sir is also online.
I was not having my voice. That's okay. If you want me to continue on what Ashok was speaking, I can do that. And good afternoon to everyone.
Yes, sir. Thank you, DG sir. I'll raise the next question to you, sir.
Yeah.
The first question was answered by Mr. Varun.
Yes.
So the next question is basically up to what level of RH on a higher scale, RH percentage do we recommend desiccant type dehumidification?
Okay. A very interesting question, but very relevant. First thing which I would like to explain to you that it all would depend on what temperature of the application you have. I think Vijay explained on fluidized bed dryer or spray dryers. Now the application is of higher temperature. And if I have to do anything on a higher RH, it doesn't matter because my temperature issues are there. So we must all look at absolute humidity as a deciding factor, not RH as a deciding factor when desiccant dehumidification becomes more viable than trying to do with other types of technologies like mechanical cooling or compression based. So we have found that at times desiccant dehumidification can be very good even if you are trying to do 60% RH, but it's a temperature which will determine. A low temperature, cold room would have a very, very good application coming from desiccant based humidification. So we'll talk about absolute humidity and we will talk about energy which are required to post dehumidification, either heat, if you are using cooling method, or whether you can use desiccant based dehumidification, taking advantage of constant enthalpy operation. So I've tried to answer that. We can give in detail this answer to whosoever has asked that question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. The next question is from Malaysia.
Yeah.
So if there is a 24 hours, they are saying in Malaysia high humidity
Yes.
environment. So where virtually 18 to 20, 24 hours, 20 hours they are switching on the air conditioning.
Right.
What is the recommendation for dehumidifiers for commercial usage?
Okay, I think if we look at applications in a high humid country like Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, or in our coastal areas in India or Dubai, basically my recommendations on commercial application would be divide the two. Try and take care of humidity which is coming through fresh air. Use desiccant based dehumidification to do deep dehumidification there, and use mechanical cooling to maintain your temperature inside the commercial area. So a combination of mechanical cooling plus desiccant based dehumidification on treating the high level of moisture would resolve both the things, and you would have a more economical solution.
Okay, thank you, sir. One more question regarding this is a very interesting question about static electricity.
Okay.
So they are saying that very low RH conditions, for example, then there is a development of static electricity.
That's right.
So for environments where we create a very low RH environment using Bryair desiccant dehumidification,
yes.
How do we ensure the static electricity levels?
Okay. You're absolutely right. As you will go down in absolute humidity, and which means lower RH at the given temperature, you would have static built up. And typically what Ashok was explaining about dry rooms, there's an absolute almost bone dry air. So there would be more static there. Now, it is basically application driven. And in case you need to have that level, then you need to have an anti-static floors so that the static would not affect any of your operation or the equipment. However, going down to 10-20% relative humidity at a common working temperature, there would be a little bit of static, but it has not so much of a negative effect. But you do go down to 1% or lower RH, there would be static, and you must take care of it that it does not affect your equipment, electronics, or give certain shocks.
DG, can I come in?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Ashok.
great. Yeah, Ashok ji, good to see you back online, please.
Yeah, friends, I will just like to supplement what Mr. Dinesh Gupta was telling. What we generally do in anti-static flooring, I said it is a 6-layer flooring if you know about it. It starts with a RCC, concrete, PCC, and then a RCC, then a polypropylene sheet. On top of that, another layer of concrete. Then we have a grade of earthing, which is put on top of it. The earthing mat is across the room where the machines are being put. Okay. And this is connected to a separate earthing pit outside, which is not connected to any other equipment outside. It is a separate earthing pit, and all the earthing from the room is connected to that. So thereby, there is no static current which comes into when you touch this machine in the real life. Because this is what we do for the dry room, and that has been done in all the dry rooms, whatever you have supplied.
Okay, thank you. So another question, this is regarding the position of supply and exhaust fan.
Yeah.
Who, basically, will it make any difference if the supply or exhaust fans are before or after the desiccant wheel? What are the combinations which are recommended?
So generally, we propose a draw-through type of work, which will be the air will be drawn through the desiccant wheel. But depending on the circumstances, we have given the blow-through type of dehumidifiers also.
Yeah, I'll just supplement here, Ashok. Basically, when you go ultra low humidities, then at times it's preferred to use blow-through because you don't want any additional moisture to come into the air. But in other application, a draw-through is a better preferred system of designing a dehumidification system.
Okay. Now, for Ashok ji, there is a question regarding, people would like more to understand about the GDP, the green dry purge technology.
Yeah. I mean,
can you briefly touch upon it again?
It will call for a total presentation on green dry purge. Because you cannot explain. I mean, if they have anything, if they can send the emails, then we can send them some literatures and all to understand. Because
okay,
it will be taking me almost half an hour to 1 hour to explain to them.
Fair enough.
What we can talk about is it is useful for extremely low dew point applications when the application is less than 1%.
Ashok, I just supplement that. Basically, if I have to give you a nutshell, that a green dry purge technology helps you go extremely low dew point with a single rotor configuration, which is not practically possible with any other design system when you have to go to -60, -70 degree dew point on a single rotor. So that takes it apart from the other technologies when you apply for low humidity. Rightly, Ashok said to explain it, it will take a lot of time. But this is how this technology is separated at an extremely low energy. Now, if I have to give you one of the key features would be it is the lowest kilowatt required per kilogram of moisture removed. So that will explain you for such facilities, low humidity facilities. Okay.
So next is about the maintenance, how to maintain and what are the critical spares. 2 parts of the question.
Sorry, Shubhendu, come again.
Just one
for dry purge.
Generally regarding dehumidifiers, how to do the maintenance and what are the critical spares recommendation.
Okay.
DG, you may answer that.
Okay, I'll just take it up. Basically, there are very few moving parts in dehumidification system. You have a moving device, a fan for taking the air for process side. You have another fan to take care of the reactivation side, and a drive to drive the desiccant wheel. So there are very few moving parts and therefore require a very low level of maintenance. However, it is still good to keep certain electrical which can fail even if you use from the best of the companies with you as a spare. And our Bryair team in any case is available 24/7 for any of downtime if you have, and give us a call and we'll take care of that. But we do recommend that some of the electrical or heater, you could just keep it with you as a spare.
Okay. So I think we've already exceeded the time limit that we had said. It's 1 o'clock. And, so I have given an email ID here of Mr. Ashok Prusti, aprusti@power.com. The questions can be addressed to him by email, and he will be answering the questions in reply on email to you. Now, we really thank everyone for participating in this session. The email IDs have been noted, and we will be sharing, our marketing team will be sharing after the session is over in a couple of days, the brief of the presentations, some relevant portions, along with the thank you notes and the email ID where to contact. So really, I would like to thank the presenters, Mr. Ashok, Mr. Vijay, and Mr. Dinesh ji for answering the questions, and Mr. Varun. And thanks everyone. Stay safe.
And Shubhendra, just a reminder for everyone, if they would like to hear on very specialized field on gas phase filtration, that webinar is there tomorrow.
Yes, definitely. There is a webinar to be hosted by Dinesh Gupta sir tomorrow. It will be there at same 11:30 IST Indian Standard Time. And you can contact your, I'm sure the local people, your local regional office would have sent you the invitation. Thank you again. Please attend.
Thanks a lot. Thanks everybody for your patience. It is a pleasure having you all on board. Thanks from Bryair team.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.